still stunned, rather go and get better. I ain't going outside. What is it that for you don't understand? How many times do I have to express that ain't part of the plan? We living life for as long as we can. Smelling like the plane just land. Smoking that boat just reach. Dogtown beach. That mean another mission complete. Big force, man, essence. I know frankincense and murder. It's a murder. I just put the homie somewhere in the dirt. Then I turn around and put my whole soul in a verse. Try to throw me in the fire, I emerge. On a mission and it gotta work out like fitness. Wanna even eat from morning, no food in the kitchen. And still I take on life, no bitching. Run a couple laps, no stitching. Let them let's check the distance. Goals them a score and I don't see competition. This is pure greatness. You have to bear witness.
Well. Welcome back to another episode, guys, of the AKM live show. I think this is episode 13. Sometimes unlucky for some. Yeah, it is. It's episode 13. Welcome, guys. So basically, we are live right now over on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you're liking, and if you are new here, obviously subscribing to the channel. Also, guys, put some chats in there as well, so we've got a bit of back and forth with you. I'm joined tonight by Shauno, as always. Shauno, you have anything you would like to plug or say before we get going?
So a couple of shout outs. Obviously, Wayne Henley Art. I received that lovely print there, the Jurgen Klopper. Danke, Jurgen. There it is there. Absolutely amazing detail in that. I mean, like, not only just to get the cop, but Klopp, Salah, Becker. I mean, this is him actually doing the actual original. I mean, look at it's amazing. So check him out. It's WJ Henley Art on Instagram. He's also got a fantastic website. Obviously, JackDesigns, number 19 apparel, Faber Sports memorabilia, along with Cop Art. And I know that SKB usually means Sean knows best or Sean knows better, but I had a little conversation with Garrett Roberts from the Late Challenge podcast. And we basically had a conversation about what I had said about a clip that was on his TikTok. He felt I was a little bit unfair with some of the comments I made. We had a quite decent conversation, and basically he's all for supporters being united and, you know, coming to the stadium. He's all about, you know, the ticket prices. Obviously with the tickets, there's major hassle with getting tickets nowadays. He did a fantastic video, I have to say, and you should all check it out on the Late Challenge podcast, about, you know, the riots that have followed from that horrible tragedy in Southport. So apologies to Garrett. Misunderstanding. I think if he looks at some of the TikTok comments he made, I think there was a few others that misunderstood what he was saying as well, but obviously it was taken out of context. Need to check all of his podcast sessions there and have a look at it. But yeah, there's all my shout outs and me homework done.
Good. So guys, just want to say a good evening to Dave as well. You've been around these parts for a very long time, mate. I remember you being one of the people that was one of the first to join one of my very first live streams, probably over a year ago now. So I think you've changed your name to Igo's Uncle Dave now. But yeah, it's good to see you here, mate. Basically, guys, I know that most stuff like this, they start off and leave the juicy stuff for the back end, but I've had a chat with Shauno, and I think there's no better place to start this stream off with talking about the whole Zubimendi stuff right now, or Zubimendi. I know you're supposed to pronounce it as a TH. So basically, guys, I made some notes. I have the the infamous, where's that camera gone? AKM book here. It's basically just a diary that I make notes on everything that journalists are saying. And I've just transferred it onto computer because it was just a little bit easier for me. But anyway, the whole starting point for this whole Zubimendi thing, let's just go through it, and then we'll talk about what happened today as well, guys. So, starting off, Tuesday the 6th of August, David Ornstein put an article out saying that Liverpool were exploring the number 6 position and had identified somebody to come into this position, and they're not from the Premier League, basically, right? That's the starting point. Wednesday, the 7th, the day after, Paul Joyce names Zubimendi, and Ornstein also adds that Real Sociedad expect the player to accept the move to Liverpool. According to Sociedad sources, clubs would still need to agree a fee unless Liverpool decide to trigger the 60 million euro, 51 million pound release clause, buyout clause, which needs to be paid in full. We didn't hear anything credible on the Thursday. Cut to Friday the 9th. You know, one thing before going further, Sean, I don't know about you, but this whole thing seems to have been going on for about a month. It's not even been 7 days yet.
I literally have a pain in my flute.
It's not even been 7 days yet. So Friday the 9th, Ornstein puts it out that Liverpool continue to work to sign Zubimendi from Sociedad. Players going other way, not the focus, because before this came out, there was rumours that Liverpool were trying to add players into the mix so they could bring the fee down. Ornstein said that was not the focus at the time. Delay more due to deal structure. Again, I don't understand a little bit there. What's the problem with the structure? You know, the buyout clause. What's the problem? Liverpool efforts to convince the 25-year-old to leave, and Sociedad to persuade the midfield to stay. So, before going any further, the fact that Ornstein put out that Sociedad were trying to persuade the midfielder to stay, to me, instigates that the midfielder told them he was up for the move. Otherwise, why are you trying to persuade him to stay? Right? All weekend, rumours that Zubimendi was undecided and that Sociedad were trying to keep him. Spanish reports are saying that Liverpool will move for Zubimendi and he will move to them as they will pay the fee. So basically, the Spanish reports, that's badly translated there into English. Basically, in Spain, they were saying that it's going to basically happen. Liverpool have agreed to pay the fee in full. There was no problems there. Cut to today. And we've had Paul Joyce put an article out there, which, having sat on it for a little bit, it's a little bit of a naughty article, in my opinion, from Paul Joyce. Basically saying that Sociedad will make Zubimendi pay the full release clause himself. Now, what I want to... hold on, have I got any comments to count on? Yeah, all right, copyrights of Anfield. And good. Oh, that's good that sound is good. We've had some problems in the past, haven't we? Yeah. So it's good to know that the sound is doing good.
Checking it out there, you know?
Yeah, that's good. So, guys, I've got this to share with you. So, Shauna was the one that first told me about this gentleman on X a few months ago, to be fair. Mo Chatra, is that how you pronounce it, Shauna?
Yeah, Mo Chatra.
Yeah. So, he's put this X thread out, basically explaining the situation, what's going on with Zubimendi and what goes on with basically every single Spanish transfer, right? So it goes to say here that he spoke last week with someone involved in Spanish football. He told him that though buyout clauses are part of all contracts in Spanish and Portuguese football, as it's part of employment law, in reality, buyout clauses are very rarely exercised. The reason for this is because Spain's tax authorities can treat any funds transferred by Liverpool to Zubimendi, even if it's for a few hours, as an income. And this would then be liable to a 47% tax charge. So the 51.5 would then increase to 75.7 million. But now I do think, though, there's one little bit that I think's missed out is that's now been wiped away as far as I'm aware. I did a quick Google search on that. That no longer exists. Like, in regards to this, the Spanish authorities have basically said that there's no tax charge on this. Continuing this, in reality, the buying and selling clubs agree on a payment of the transfer fee by installments. The selling club, when the sale is made official, still often announce that the buyout clause has been activated. Now, his interpretation of Paul Joyce's latest update is that Real Sociedad and Liverpool have now reached an agreement on the fee and its structure. And if and when the transaction goes ahead, Sociedad will say that Zube triggered the clause to save face with their fans. after the embarrassment of Caicedo situation from a year ago, which, to be fair, Sean, I didn't think of this, but I actually had a quick look on Time Up earlier today. It is literally a year to the day since this whole Caicedo thing went on as well, basically. Nearly. It's nearly a year to the day. After the embarrassment of Caicedo situation from a year ago, Liverpool would not have briefed Paul Joyce, Ornstein, etc. about this story last week if the player was not fully committed to joining the Liverpool. And I agree with that. I don't think they would have allowed it to get out there if there was no, what's the word? No commitment from the player. I agree with that bit. And then lastly, he just finishes off by saying, this doesn't mean the deal is done, but it looks like to me like the last few days were spent negotiating the fee, as some reports had suggested, and an agreement has been reached. Now it's down to the PR spin to play out in the next few days. So I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and I think that Liverpool end up signing Zubimendi. I think it happens. I think too much has gone on for it not to happen. We've obviously been stung in the past, which we'll cover in the whole transfer bit after this. But it is a little bit of a shit show, I think. But I think at the same time, there's a lot of people on X and stuff like that that are trying to chase a little bit of clout, in all fairness. And I think the fact that they're putting stuff out there is causing this confusion. They know that Zubimendi is a big talking topic right now. And you've got to look back to January this year, just gone, when it looked like for a while that Ruben Amorim was going to become the next Liverpool manager. And there was the Portuguese journalist, Pedro Sepulveda, who was non-stop talking about how Ruben Amorim was going to go to Liverpool. And he was talking about West Ham and this, that, and the other. And it was because it was a talking point, and he was taking that opportunity to basically build up his own reputation, shall we say, on social media by talking about it all the time. And then the fact that that didn't happen, have you noticed how we've never heard anything about that journalist ever since? I hadn't heard a peep out of that guy the whole time we've been going through this transfer window. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole Zubimendi thing. You got anything you'd like to add to that, Sean? Any thoughts or anything?
Well, I have a few thoughts on it. I mean, I personally think a lot of journalists that cover Liverpool don't know what the hell they're talking about. I think it's an awful lot of if we throw enough shit, that some of it's going to stick. Do you know what I mean? And I've always felt that way, especially when I did my podcasting and YouTube, and I've always felt that way. You see, the problem with putting all your eggs in one basket is that it's squeaky bump time, and Liverpool have given Zubimendi until Wednesday to sort this out. We've got 5 days left until the Premier League starts. We've got 2 weeks left after the summer window, where we've been fannying about and fluffing and whatever and waffling on, and we wanted to identify what we needed when the whole world knew what we needed. And now all of a sudden we're looking for a defensive midfielder. Well, whoop-de-doo. We already knew that we needed a defensive midfielder. We already knew that we needed a number 6. So the fact that we're so late on in the transfer window and we're fannying about with one player, and it just we talk about this every year under these owners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's just getting crazy. I am very, very worried about whether we'll do any business this window. Very worried.
Yeah. I think this happens, Zubimendi. I don't know why. I could change my opinion tomorrow if obviously I could be proven wrong, but I just think I don't know. If this weren't to happen, this would go back to the whole Bellingham thing again and the whole Caicedo thing. I guess they're not really the same, but we were, like the media were hyping up the Bellingham move for absolutely ages.
2 years.
Ages. And then we got told for years that we were saving money in the summer transfer window the year before to make the Bellingham thing happen the year after. So Liverpool already knew how much it was going to cost and how this, that, or the other. And then we get told that we're not going to spend all the money on one player. We're going to go buy a couple of other players, which was fine, fair enough. I could understand that at the time. Like, you go, instead of spending whatever it would have been, 100 million on one player, you go out and you spend the 100 million and you get Szoboszlai and you get McAllister for that price, basically. And then we ended up getting Gravenberch and Endo as well. But before we got them two, we also put a bid in for £115 million for Caicedo.
And can't do it for Bellingham. Couldn't do it for Bellingham.
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't afford the Bellingham situation because Liverpool did not want to spend all their money on one player. But then we go and spend that 100 million. And then we pull 115 million out of the back at sofa for Caicedo. So something ain't right there.
And bear in mind, Adam, Jude Bellingham and I think his father came over to Liverpool just to be told, yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dave, I think Endo stays. I think it's too late in it for him. If Bajcetic gets loaned out, then Endo stays. Sorry, Shauna, there was just some other questions here. Copyrights mentioned, do we think we get Zubin and Edison? No, I don't. I don't think we sign both. No. Where's this? With Slot coming in, he clearly wanted to assess the players further. Yeah, I get that. I do. I understand that. The thing for me, and I guess as well, if we're going to be playing devil's advocate here, he has had the tournaments where he's not had his full squad. One thing I will say, though, is that he was the one that said that he was watching the training sessions from last year and that he was watching the games and everything like that. And I know we've had a whole new structure and everything and put in place, but Michael Edwards knows how Liverpool works. He's been here before. Yes, he's not the one that he's not the one that's in charge of all this right now. It's Richard Hughes, but he knows how it works. So, like, I can't for one moment, and this is going to go off into the whole transfer bit now, and I can just feel it now. There is no way that Michael Edwards, as much as he's the president of football for FSG, right? There is no way he has hired Richard Hughes and gone, right then, lad, get on with it. That has not happened. That they will have been working together on this for a long time because Michael Edwards was brought in to oversee football for FSG. They've only got one fucking club. Like, who else is he overseeing? They've only got Liverpool. So,
and I mean, I thought that they were saviors. I mean, you know, the narrative that has been passed on, you know, that, well, you know, there are saviors. They flew all over from Boston and they saved us. What was that club in France that now have had to get rid of their senior players? Bordeaux. Did they save them? No. So it's not for the love of the club or for the love of saving someone. It's for the love of seeing a big club at its weakest and knowing the full potential of, you know, building up profit from that. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's like we know what FSG is like. Like, this is, I'm not going to start coming out and proper start bashing them because they've been our owners now for years. We know how they operate. So it's not really a surprise that this is what's going on. I think the surprise for me is yet I'll admit they've had the tournaments, and if you'd gone and bought a player when he was at a tournament, spent big money on him, and he got injured, it would look bad for business, right? I can understand that. Which you know covers this here with Zubi being away for national team. So yeah, they've been waiting. I get that. I understand that. But what I think is that they should have had everything in place. It should, like, if you're a business, and again, I don't own a business. I don't do anything as big as Liverpool Football Club. But if I was running the summer transfers for Liverpool this summer, knowing there was the Olympics, the Euros, and the Copa America, I would have been like, right, yeah, you may not want to talk about your future right now because you're focusing on this, right? But what would it take to get you to come to Liverpool? Like, is there anything we could potentially do? Like, is this the salary you'd be looking for? Like, players have got agents. That's their job. And you know, like, I don't. I think that it feels at the moment. It feels at the moment that it's going to be a bit of a mad rush towards the end of August. And yes, Richard Hughes said in the press conference that we're going to do a lot of business in August. He said that. He said that, right? But the league starts this weekend, and we have not signed a single player.
We were told
we've wasted. Sorry, Shauna. We've wasted a pre-season where we're supposed to be teaching players a new way of football, a new style of football. So we're expecting players to come in, like Zubimendi, for instance. I think here, like Ref said here, that he reckons he's going to sign. I think he's going to sign as well. I think he will sign. Will Zubimendi? But say if he signs tomorrow, are you chucking him in against Ipswich at weekend? No, I'm not. You've got these players that are still learning. You've got players that are coming back from the tournaments that are still learning. Like, I don't know. I feel so frustrated. Like Dave says here, maybe it might have been in place. Yeah, it may have been. We don't know, and it's frustrating. It is frustrating. It really is.
I think it's also very frustrating the fact that it was up until a couple of weeks ago that we had literally finished getting in our backroom staff. Do you know what I mean? Like, you knew the club was leaving in November. You knew, so you could have easily just stopped fannying about and just get everything sorted. It's not the first time. And it won't be the last time that, a manager has changed or a manager has left or a manager has been sacked. We can go up with all these bloody excuses. Well, they have to implement this and whatever. Oh, well, they had the Euros and they had the Copa America. All clubs had that. All clubs had that.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, we can talk all this bullshit about, well, you had to do this and you had to implement this and you had to look at this. He had videos of the training. He knew the players we had. He didn't need to, go and go through the pre-season friendlies without signing a player. He could have easily seen, well, right, we need a defensive midfielder because we don't really have one. I mean, Gravenberch, Endo, Padajec, but still, at the end of the day, I think it's too little, too late. I think we're going to end up in this Lavia Caicedo business. We're going to fluff Zubimendi, and then we're going to end up in a situation where we're not going to sign anyone. And I mean, we're already offloading a load of players. That's the business that we've seen so far.
Well, I was just about to say, I've just seen this now it's kind of breaking us about 5 minutes ago. Liverpool have confirmed that Fabio Carvalho has moved to Brentford. That's done. He's gone. 27.5 million. It's 20 million up front, 7.5 in add-ons, and there is a 17.5 sell-on clause in there. If they do end up selling him on. Do you know what? Like, I think that sell-on clause thing sweetens that deal a bit better because I think Carvalho is a really good player, and I think he will end up moving to another big club again for a fair bit of money. So I think that's a decent deal. That, to be fair, considering you only paid 5 million for him, I think that's quite good. To be fair, is that? Well, I'm just going to put a thing in the chat. Sorry, Sean. I'm just going to put a poll up, guys. about whether you think if Zubimendi signs or not. And it's just a simple yes or no. Does Zubimendi sign?
I'm allowed to vote on this, am I?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. It's up there now, guys, in the chat if you want to start voting on it.
I just thought it might be interesting just to go through the what they call the top 6 squad size.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Chelsea, I heard Chelsea have, or according to the figures I had, they have 42 players. I saw there on social media that it's actually 45. So in around 42 to 45, with Neto signed at 54 million. Spurs, they've just signed Solanke, 31 players. Man City, 29 players. Man United, 29 players. They've signed, what's his name? Delict. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
And another fella from Bayern Munich, Nussar Mazarew, I think is his name. They've sold Wan-Bissaka, should I say? Sorry. Arsenal have 24 players. That's a very, very small squad. Now, currently, as it stands, after selling Carvalho and Billy Cumetio, I think is how you pronounce his name, we have 28 players, with a further possibly 3 players to go out on loan. So we could have a squad at the end of this window. We could have a squad coming into this new season of 25 players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally think, and bear in mind, there's no contract update on Virgil, no contract update on Trent, no contract update on Salah. Only the 3 most important players of the whole fucking squad.
Yeah.
Only the 3 most important.
Yeah, like I don't even know how to first tackle that one. I really don't. Guys, make sure you're liking the stream and sharing it when you possibly can, guys. Let's get it up to about there's 50 people watching. Let's see if we can get about 20 likes on here. So sorry, Sean, I'm just gonna go over some of these comments while we're doing it. So Dave has mentioned here, about the goalkeeper. Yeah, we'll cover that one in a bit, Dave, because I've got a pretty. I can't like that one, to be fair. Copites, Edwards and Hughes have known for ages they are getting the job yet. I believe they knew from the first week who their staff would be. I don't get why things aren't in place with signings and players. Couldn't agree more with that. Contracts should have been sorted before the years. But off the back of what you just said, Sean, them contracts should never have been allowed to get into that position in the first place. Like Liverpool back in the day, before I even started doing YouTube, never really allowed a player to get into the last 2 years of the deal until FSG came in. Now, we've seen players like Gini Wijnaldum, Emre Can, Roberto Firmino all leave for nothing because they left it too late. And for me, this is a very... I try to think of it like an analogy with this, but to me, it's very American, and I don't want to sound like I'm pointing... No, but it is like... I've recently got into the NFL, right? And from what I've seen with the contract negotiations with that, they literally leave it until that player's contract's about to expire. And then they start negotiating the new contracts then. So, but the way that's different to over here is, for instance, you talk about quarterbacks, right? They'll have a market value, and every team has the same amount of money they can spend on wage. They have a salary cap, right? So there's a market. So if like a quarterback's coming up to the end of his contract, the last quarterback to sign his contract, say it's 50 million, you might bump it up to 52 million or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But in football over here, they ain't that thing. So if you allow players like Salah and Trent and Van Dijk to run their contracts down, they ain't no centre-back market. And you're looking around the market going, oh, who's the highest paid centre-back? Right, so we'll just... Because you've got Saudi Arabia knocking at the door now. If you turn around to Van Dijk and go, hey, mate, we'll give you like 300k a week, they'll go, all right, we'll give you 6.
But sure, I mean, it's the same shit that happened with Gerrard. Do you know what I mean? Like they didn't offer him a contract, and they were just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Captain Fantastic. I mean, he was amazing. So he was, even like, you know. But I can't understand how your vice captain, how your captain, and how your leading goal scorer over the, I don't know how many seasons, you can just put in the back finger and just say, well, you know, we want to, you know, get to know the team. We want them, you know, to come back from the Euros or whatever. That's all bull crap. If you want these players to be made felt at home at Liverpool and made feel that they're part of your plans, and you're planning for the future, you have got to get those players contracts.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. Get it sorted.
Yeah, and you've basically left as well these players now into you've allowed a situation to grow now where you've lost Jurgen Klopp. There's an unknown around the new manager, like how we're going to perform with him. We've got a whole new backroom staff. We've got a whole new structure in place at the club. Like, now, if we're to believe what's being put out there publicly by the club, that Jurgen didn't tell anybody at all that he was leaving the club until October, November last year, then surely you had, 10 months prior to that, to where the players would have thought that Jurgen was still going to be there to get these contracts sorted out, or even the year before. Or how about, here's an even better idea, the year you win the fucking league, give them a new contract. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's just.
Now, I know that Mo Salah signed a contract after we won the league, basically, like when with Mane and stuff like that. Like that, but we lost Mane because he felt undervalued, because the whole focus was around getting Mo Salah signed. And then it came out that the club couldn't afford to give them both a contract, so they let Mane go.
We're a 4 billion, possibly 5 billion pound club, and we can't afford, you know, these contracts. Like, what is actually happening? I mean, I know people will say, well, look, Sean, you've always had, you know, your foot in on FSG. Well, no, not. I don't really. I haven't really. I've called them out when needs be, and it just turns out that maybe I was right about quite a lot of things that I've said. I mean, you don't try and organize a Super League without and not tell your players and not tell the Klopp, and then know full well when you go into the Premier League that if you try and go on and set up a breakaway league, that will have you expelled from the Premier League. You know, they're doing the same thing with the fucking the golf, the PGA.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, these guys do not give a shit about heritage or about history or about the club, and yet they get a, you know, free pass because they saved us. I wanted FSG to do better. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I?
No. I've finished the poll, sorry, and 69% say that the Zubimendi signs, and it says 30, but I don't understand how that's worked out. It must be like a weird percentage of something saying that he doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Sean, have you crashed? Is he crashed, guys?
So let's rebel. Let's FSG out. It's not...
Yeah, Sean was crashing, gone. It's just me, guys. I was wondering what the hell went on then. So yeah, Mark Guy to Newcastle. Yeah, that'll be a good signing. I wish Liverpool were in for him, but I guess they want like 65 million for him, and I think I prefer to get Inacio for probably like 35 million instead, in all fairness. What other comment? I'll catch up on some comments while we're waiting for Sean to come back. Nizam, hello. Van Dijk stated months ago about his contract that there is time and more important things before his contract. Yeah, I get that, but sure, there has to be a line where we go, right, okay, we have to get this sorted now. I don't know, like, if you let it get to January, then other clubs abroad can start talking to him, and there's nothing we can do about it. I think Trent's the easy one to get done, Dave. I think he's probably the one that we get signed, sorted first. I really do. And I agree that Salah walks at the end of the season. Yeah, I think that happens. I think we all say that. Johnny McLeese saying evening to Gareth. Bond reckons that Salah and Van Dijk will leave on a free. I think Salah will. I'm 50-50 on Van Dijk. And then Copites, surely once they get to the last 2 years, they should be told to sign or go. Exactly, Gareth, exactly. Because basically, when you're in the last 2 years of your deal, you can't. Shauna's back now. Can I add him back in? Hold on a moment, guys. There we go. Sure, like when you get to the last 2 years of a contract, the club has the power to basically be able to charge a certain fee. Once you start getting into that last 18 months, 1 year, then the player can basically be like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'll just sit out this contract for the rest of the thing, and I'll get the money at the end of it rather than you.
Just get the fucking thing done. Get it sorted. Do you want these players or not? Virgil van Dijk, Salah, and Trent. Yeah. I mean, Trent. There's no reason why you can't have, or why you would not offer a contract to Trent. Trent is fairly young. Salah. I mean, Salah has been on form during the preseason. I know it's preseason, but the guy's a beast. And maybe under Slot, with the different kind of way that he plays, ever so slightly different to Klopp, but he offers something different that perhaps may get the very best out of Salah, may get the very best out of Salah this season and whatever. So why the hell aren't they sorting out the contracts? Why the hell are they leaving it till the last fortnight of the transfer window to do business? It's just I can't believe that this is still the situation years and years and years later.
No, I know. What's this? Paul Taylor said here that Slot got to see yesterday what he has. So I'm expecting signings. He wouldn't be happy with players in the second game. Yeah, I stick with what I said in my video yesterday, that the people that played that first game are starting against Ipswich. Blue Cheese, if Zubimendi was our only signing, where do we finish? I think this team is still capable of getting top four with no signings, to be fair. I really do. Maybe not a decent cup run or anything like that, but I reckon they can still get top four with what we've got, which is not what I want. I want the league, in all fairness. Carvalho exit now confirmed. Yep, there we I've touched on the Gahey one. Cranky JD, it's very mentally draining following these shenanigans. Yeah, it is. It is. Can't see them signing. This reminds me of Bobby and Hendo. That's in regards to the contracts, and he's also put Genie as well. If you are going to give Salah a new contract, Sean, what deal? So how I guess is how many years, how much money? I won't be giving him any more money based on his age. But I'd give him probably 2-year extension, maybe 3-year extension. Don't know, on his current terms.
So what age is he now? 32?
Yes, I think so. I'll have a quick check. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
I think he's 32 though. Here we go. Yep, 32. He's just turned about a month ago. Yeah, 32.
So I think on the basis of that, a 2-year contract. A 2-year contract.
2-year contract. Yep.
And I think, like, if at all anything, contracts are all well and good, but contracts are also there to give the club an opportunity to get some money off a player if they're looking to sell them. So even if they give them a contract, it gives us the opportunity to sell them next year or the year after. So I think, we have to kind of put that all the more reason to put him in a contract.
Yep. Eminem, Liverpool can't pay Zubimendi release clause. Zubimendi has to pay to cancel his contract. Yeah, we covered that at the beginning. But basically, it's Liverpool give the money to him and then he pays it to La Liga. We covered that off at the beginning of the stream, basically. And I still think it happens, in all fairness. I really do. Van Dijk and Salah can't get a pay rise if they get a new deal. Maybe Van Dijk can get a little bit of one, because I think I would give Van Dijk a longer contract than I would do Salah. I think I'd give Van Dijk like a 4-year, just because centre-backs play longer, at the best, longer than any other position. So I'd give Van Dijk probably a 4-year deal.
He's our captain. He's the captain. Like,
Johnny, I struggle watching Nunes. He's starting to do my head and we need a centre forward. That game, second game yesterday, were boring as all.
I fell asleep. I won't lie. I fell asleep.
Boring. Dave, remember with contract negotiations, they're signing on for the entry that could easily be 20. Yeah, exactly. But with that, Dave, as well, like if we're to believe that Caicedo bid was legit, we've got 115 million stashed somewhere where we could pay for these contracts and everything like that. And then what did Cranky say? Cranky said 2-year deal, the year's option. Is that for Salah, Cranky, or is that for whatever it is? Sorry. Van Dijk. I can't think of it name. Every transfer window starting to look the same. Big pots of money promised, then doesn't appear. And where's the 110 million they had for Caicedo? Yeah, exactly. We just touched on that, Ian. Yeah, where's it gone? Where's the money?
Show me the money.
Sorry, bud, didn't see start. Just recommended your channel. I'm like, oh, thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Eminem.
But yeah, just to quickly, I guess we'll just quickly cover it again. So yeah, Zubimendi, I think will happen. I think that the Liverpool will just end up giving him the money, get it all paid off. And I just think that the whole article that Paul Joyce wrote today that I did a video on, after reading it again, I do think that that it was basically just a bit of a naughty article in all fairness. So yeah, so you would offer Salah a 2-year deal with a year's option, Cranky. And then Dave, remember that big money promise from the media at the club. But Liverpool did put 115 million bid in for Caicedo. So that there was that. And we've not seen that since. But I get what you're saying. I do understand. I do believe, and I do get what you're saying in regards to that. I do get what you're saying, Dave. You could look at another way. The sell to buy may be applied to make other clubs think we don't have money when we do.
No.
Liverpool have to put out their financials, don't they? So
yeah,
every club would know what each other's earning from different things.
Listen,
that Mo Charter who we covered earlier on, he does a breakdown I'm sure he does of the finances at Liverpool every year. So if he's doing it, then yeah, other teams will know what each one's earning.
I'll tell you, if you want to try check him out, check him on X. He's unbelievable. I mean, he knows his stuff. I've had him years and years ago on my podcasts, and very, very intelligent guy, and he knows his stuff, you know. But the finances have to be made public anyway. So this thing about are Liverpool pretending that they don't have any money? That's rubbish, man. I mean, we can put a positive spin all we like on it. These guys are as tight as a nun's asshole. They need to bloody cough up the money. Football is all about money, unfortunately. It's all about money where, you know, they expect you to pay €120 for a jersey. It's all about money trying to get a goddamn ticket. So, you know, these players are you know, the market is crazy. And if we think that we're going to, you know, fanny about and say, well, I know you're asking for 50 million, but we'll give you 25, or how about 35? You know, it's ridiculous. We just can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to find. So, just on that comment there that Bon put in the chat. Then, sorry to pull you out, Bon. Nothing personal. But you said after Liverpool never got Caicedo, they went and signed 3 or 4 players. As far as I'm aware, they went and signed 2, which was Gravenberch for 35 million and Endo for 36. So that leaves you what? Let's just round it up to 50 million or 51 million. So you've still got 64 million, just missing. That's nothing against you, Bon. Honestly, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, there's still 64 million unaccounted for.
I'm not laughing at Bon. I'm laughing at Cranky JD, who really caught me rapid there.
Everyone knows that Liverpool can't have money for the right player. Remember what Slot said? We will bring players, and if they improve side, they inherit the quality. Yeah, he did, and that's why I think even with the players we've still got now, Dave, that Liverpool can still finish in the top 4. I believe that. How do you know what? I'm sure Szoboszlai and McAllister were signed before the Caicedo bug. Not right. They were. Yes, they were. Yeah. total mess by FSG, and now Palmer's off with the youth team. Is our seniors when we are desperate for new players? Yeah. Well, we're going to touch on them in a minute. Endo 36, was it that much? No, Endo was 16 million, and Gravenberch was 35 million.
And if you remember Klopp saying, "We really need you," you know, you're really. I mean, honest to God, it was like it just looked desperate.
Yeah, and even as well, you've got Van Dijk's comments here. I've got the article up from earlier on where, he said that there's been no change at the moment on his own contract, even though we're about to go into a new campaign. This is Van Dijk's quotes about the current squad. He says that he's positive, he's confident, and he thinks that we should make some signings based on how long the season will go. I think they're working behind the scenes, and I'm fully convinced and trust in the club that they will do the right thing for us and get the best possible squad in order to compete in every competition that we are in. I have to trust and see what happens. So that's the club captain. Diplomatically, I'm going to add this, and I could just say this, and I might be taking it the wrong way, but that's a diplomatic way for me of saying pull your finger out.
Exactly, yeah.
Because he isn't really going to come out and say, "Oh, we need to sign this." Like they're doing this, that, and the other. But I think that's a diplomatic way of him saying, "Yeah, we need some players, 100%."
All right, Brandon.
Bonnie's right though. Remember that season we knew that we would have had to get 3 contracts this season. Perhaps that 50 million or so was spent. Exactly. Yeah, maybe it was. So if that's the case, why are we waiting? Unless they are doing the classic FSG thing, which they've done before in the past. We've got it all over. If this summer transfer window fails, and by fail I mean we don't get Zubimendi, we don't get anybody else to come in and do this, that, and the other, guaranteed. On my birthday, August the 31st, after the transfer window's closed, Trent signed a new deal. The day after, Van Dijk signed a new deal. The day after, Mo Salah signed a new deal. If you want all 3 of these players to sign new deals, you need Liverpool to have a shit transfer window.
You'll see that promotion of Salah, sitting on the sunbed and looking at the jersey, and the same shite that they do every goddamn year. All
right there, Brandon.
I think Brandon's on his way back from Switzerland.
Yeah. The money I took from Pies Hot Dog Stick yesterday will come as Zubimendi. By the time I got to Brittany Crew, it's too late for alcohol. Again, the players were away with Euros, Adam, same as Zubimendi. Yeah, I get that. I understand, but they have agents that... I'm not trying to have an argument with you, Dave, and I do value your points and everything like that, but for me, like the agents can do the talking for the players. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the agent's job. Like we'll see what happens. Like we really will. Like I hope we sign Zubimendi, and I hope that all 3 of these players sign new deals. I hope it happens, and I hope that this does. And again, I agree with what Dave is saying. Not Dave, sorry, Ian's saying here. They're not the worst owners. They're really not. They're not. They've done so much good things with the new training facility. They've expanded the stadium, albeit it's the cheaper option. They've done like the commercial stuff. Like the club makes so much more money than it now than it ever did do before they came in. It's worth like what 20, 30 times as much as it was when they first bought something stupid like that. I might be exaggerating a little bit.
Because we had a corner shop mentality, and because of Gillette and Hicks, and they didn't, expand on the global market. That's it. What FSG have done, with all due respect, and I've been very outspoken about FSG in the past, and I'm back to being outspoken about them. They saw a business opportunity in Liverpool Football Club. They saw the club on a steal, using their words. They bought the club knowing full well that they would make a massive profit out of the club. A massive profit. And it went from a £300 million club to a £5 billion club. So they know full well what they're getting out of Liverpool. What they did with the stadium, amazing. What they did with Kirby, the training facility, I was only there last year, and it was incredible. absolutely amazing. The size of the bloody place. I mean, incredible. You could put Chelsea's squad and you'd still have room for another 2 or 3 squads of them. So it's amazing. But they have done the bare minimum in terms of investing into the squad. And really, at the end of the day, that's what football is about. It's about capitalizing. It's about, well, okay, what position are we in it now? So how can we better our squad for next season? Because other clubs are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Other clubs are doing it.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, it's just frustrating because at the same time, I don't want Arne Slot to go down the same thing as Jurgen Klopp. Like, I think if Jurgen Klopp had just a little bit more backing, I'm not asking for hundreds of millions, just a little bit more backing, I think he'd have won a bit more at Liverpool. I really do. But that's by the by. Let's just catch up on some of these comments. We've got 87 people in the chat, watching, guys. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't done so already. 100% that's what will happen. Big boost for the season. Yeah, that's the contract soon. We could be owned by Ted, but yeah, we could be. we could be. Yeah, we could be. Timing. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Timing. Do you think we sign Zubi? I think we sign him. I think it happens. And on that, just before I keep going with the whole comments and stuff, I've just had a quick refresh on X. And Fabrizio Romano has said that Liverpool want to resolve the Zubimendi transfer this week. Work in progress. Liverpool is absolutely on point and will be prepared to pay whatever it takes. That last bit, whatever it takes. We know what it will take. £51 million. We know what it will take.
Just do it. I'm sounding like your man Shia LaBeouf and that bloody. Just do it.
Yeah. If we don't sign any players in this window, then I'll say we're not ambitious. Yeah, you could say that. But again, just to be played devil's advocate here, and Shauno's going to kill me for saying this because I said this privately to you on WhatsApp a few weeks ago.
Careful.
I can see a reason, a world, shall we say? I can see a world where the owners, Michael Edwards and stuff like that, will try not to spend so much money in the first season under Arne Slot, because he's not guaranteed. They might try and go a season with what you've got, and then if you're a success with what you've got, then give you some players as a reward next year. I don't think that's going to happen because I think we signed Zubimendi, but I could see that also happening. I could see it happening. Dave, thank you, mate. I'm not arguing you, mate. I enjoy the debates we have, mate. I really do. What they did with the stadium and training ground was it? Yeah, they obviously they've extended the stadium and they've built a whole new training ground. So power to them. Like, can't hold them anything bad against that. Dr. Evil in his chair, $51 million. Have you got an impersonation of that, Sean? I bet you could do something like that, couldn't you? Dave doesn't follow a man, doesn't find trust with it. I think this summer window, I'm not going to lie, I think this summer window, Romano's is coming across very much more as a tapping merchant, I'd say. You can just see it a little bit. How many exclusives has he done this window? Not many at all. Bond thinks that Liverpool will sign 3 players this window. Yeah.
Who?
I reckon this is just me here. I reckon we get Zubimendi. I think it happens. I think that goalkeeper at Valencia, whose name I cannot pronounce, Mamadashvili, the Georgian. It's a really weird rumor that when it first popped up, I was like, he's a good keeper and all, but I don't really see it right now. But it won't go away. And I think everybody's focus is on Zubimendi right now. I won't be surprised if we ended up signing that lad and then he ends up going out on loan again. But what I will say, I will add this caveat to that. If that deal goes through for that goalkeeper, I'm going to say that this is Alisson's last season at Liverpool. Because you don't go out there and spend 30 million on a goalkeeper to loan him out for 2-3 years until Alisson retire, until Alisson's past his best. You know what? On that, I'm actually going to see how long's left on Alisson's contract. Bear with me a minute. Like, if you want to have a look at some of the comments, Shano, while I have a look.
So Bond says they did the stadium and training ground with Liverpool money, not FSG own money. I think the main stand was a loan that we had to pay them back. So that's as far as I know. Now, could be wrong. Rick Roach says, I can't understand that there is a clause. We want them, so pay or walk away. You don't see this in any other business. Do you think it's the player holding it up? The player wants to come to Liverpool, as far as I know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it may be a bit of a hold up because he might want to do it on good terms. That there may be that, but I think he made it known that he wants to come to Liverpool, and that's why it's continued. I wouldn't be surprised as well if he ends up wearing the number 14 shirt, following in Alonso's footsteps. Just putting it out there. I've just seen the contract for Alisson, and it's 2027. So this time next year, he would have 2 years left on his contract. Prime time to get some big money for somebody. Yeah, I'm going to say that, mate. If we end up signing that Georgian goalkeeper, I would not be surprised if we end up selling Alisson next year. It would not surprise me whatsoever.
So does Kelleher stay? Does Kelleher stay and be number one next year? Do you think he'd be enticed to stay an extra year so you could get the number one jersey?
No, I think him and
Really?
that Mamardashvili fight it out to see who's ever's best.
And what's the story with Jarlos?
I think he gets sold next year as well. He's in his last year of his contract anyway, so if he don't sign the new deal this year, he's gone. He leaves for naught next year anyway. I'll catch up on some of these. Wouldn't you be trying to keep Kelleher if Alisson only has 1 year left? Yeah, you would. But it's 3 years left as of now. Dave reckons that it's Zubi, Altanore, and Mamardashvili. Yeah, Altanore is a shout. That's a shout.
I hope not, because I have him on my fantasy football, and I've got 3 Liverpool players already.
Alisson contract 2027. Thank you for that. Cop Heights reckons we get 3 players. Alisson will stay. Would you swap Kelleher for Mama? I don't think you go out there and sign a player like Mama, shall we say, just as you said it. Loan him out for a year back to Valencia, or in my opinion, I would loan him out to a Premier League side so he gets some Premier League experience. To let him sit out there on loan for 2 years. I don't know. I can't see that happening. I can't see you going out and spending 30 million on a goalkeeper and then letting him sit out there for 2-3 years on loan. The only reason as well you'd want to try and keep Kelleher around is because obviously he helps towards the homegrown quota as well. So that's another positive of keeping Kelleher around. Rick Roach, thank you so much for the super sticker, mate. Thank you for that. Appreciate it so much. Ian, the longer this saga for Zubimendi goes on, I think it looks less likely he will sign. Not sure why it was leaked so early either. I reckon it's sorted by this week, one way or another. But I think it happens.
It has to happen.
I think we see Zubi in a Liverpool shirt. I really do. Number 14. I'm gonna put money on that. Number 14. Dave's going. Cheers, mate. Thank you for that. I hope you've enjoyed it, mate, and I enjoyed the debate. Make sure you're back here next Monday, pal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for that, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cop Heights would loan Mama out to Bournemouth. Not a bad shout, in all fairness. I'd loan him out to a Premier League side, 100%. So I've covered that one off. Cop Heights, thank you, mate, for the £2 as well. Appreciate it. Thank you. I think, Shauno, you wanted to cover off. I know we've touched on it a little bit. The squad size, sorry. And then the youngsters that are being sold out. So we can say that Brentford have now signed Fabio Carvalho. That's gone through. We've had confirmation of that while we've been live. So that's one player down. We had the news last night that I did a video on this morning of Red Bull Salzburg stepping up their pursuit to sign Bobby Clark. They put £8.2 million bidding. Now, there was an article that I've read on the Liverpool Echo, which I know, guys, it's not the best source. I know, I understand. But they're the only one that I can see that's got like a figure there that Liverpool would accept. And they're saying that Liverpool would accept at least 10 million for him, as they paid 1.5 million for him 3 years ago from Newcastle. So if I could see that happening, but I've also seen in the article as well in The Athletic that Liverpool would have preferred to have loaned out Bobby Clark and keep him, because there's teams in the Championship like Norwich, Leeds, Sheffield and Coventry that want to loan him. But this permanent transfer, what shall I call it, eagerness or whatever, I don't know, from Salzburg has kind of made Liverpool think a bit about it a little bit more, and they would accept a serious offer for him. Obviously, you got to remember as well that Salzburg is now coached by Pep Linders, and he's taken Vito Matos, if that's how you pronounce his name, or Matos, as his second as well. So these like assistant manager, assistant coach. Obviously, they both worked with Bobby Clark when he was a youngster, and also worked with him in the first team squad last year when he played in the Carabao Cup a fair bit for Liverpool. And then just lastly, again, cutting back to this Echo article, guys, I know they're not the best source, but they are also citing that Ben Doak could be going out on loan to either Leicester or Southampton, although a permanent departure cannot be discounted. So the option for Ben Doak to be sold is there. I agree that Doak should be loaned out because of the injury sustained last year, and going to a Premier League side would be a good idea. Stefan Bajcetic as well could also go out on loan, as he struggled to get some minutes in pre-season. And then they also go on to mention that Tyler Morton, Sepp van den Berg, Owen Beck, Cade Gordon and Nat Phillips have all been linked with permanent or temporary moves away from Liverpool before the deadline. Nat Phillips seems to have been linked with a move away from Liverpool away for the last 5 years or something daft like that. So, yeah. Cop out. Yeah, see you later, mate. And sorry, Rick, pleasure. Love what's going on with you, Adam. Difficult to join as I work in the Middle East, so times to get prediction for the weekend. Board of transfers. Okay, I'll give you a quick one. Quick prediction, Ricky, since you've asked. I reckon Liverpool beat Ipswich 4-1. I think they do. You've put 3-0, Sean.
I put 3-0. I think 3 or 4-0.
I'm going to get that link to that fantasy football as well, Sean. If you just want to obviously talk about the players that have been linked with moves away, what's like your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, you know, Slot was talking about strengthening the squad. I don't know how we're strengthening the squad by thinning it out worse than my hairline. I don't get that. I mean, I understand that there's some deadwood. I understand that there are some players that are just not, at that level. But we then need to bring in business. We need to bring in players that, because we've seen, United, they got rid of Wan-Bissaka. They sold him off. They brought in De Ligt and Nasser Mazzaro, I think is how you pronounce him. I'm not too sure. But they brought in, they sold one player there last week. They brought in 2 players this week. Liverpool don't do that. And I guarantee you, Liverpool are going to be talking about injuries. They're going to be talking about the fixture list. They're going to be talking about maybe, I don't know whether he'll do a Klopp, and he'll be talking about 12:30 kickoffs.
Oh, yeah, it's 12:30 as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll be talking about all of this, and I don't think that you can win this league with a squad less than 30 players. That's my view on it. Man City have 29. They've got rid of your man, then Alvarez there. They've got 29 players, but they've got a fantastic squad. I'm not too sure whether they'll do it this season. I'm not too sure. But,
Arsenal at favourites for me. Arsenal,
But I mean, look
Arsenal
at their squad, man. Look at their squad. They've a small squad. You know, it only takes a couple of injuries to affect that up. You know, I can't see Chelsea doing anything with their squad. It's about quality as well as quantity. But you know, I just think we really need to look at bringing in players. It's all well and good loaning out these players or selling these players, but if I don't know, I'm just fed up. I'm really fed up of it. I really am. I don't know what else to say. I'm so fed up. It's you know, I can see Slot taking the hit for this because they'll say, "Oh well, we didn't have Klopp, so we didn't have that pull." We're Liverpool Football Club. You don't need, you know, to be, you know. Okay, Slot is a relatively young manager, but I mean, he's already implemented his style in the football. And the preseason is the first preseason I've watched where I thought, well, Jesus, there's some good football here. You know, I know you can't really take too much, you know, to preseason, but I think you know, you can certainly look at the positives at least and say, well, this is the type of football that we're bringing in, and this is going to be different. But we need to now help Slot. And he needs now the back, and he needs to get players in. He needs to get new players in. Certainly, I think we need at least 3 players. At least 3 players. We can't leave it at a squad of 25 or whatever. If 3 more players go out on loan or go on permanent, we just can't.
Before I ask you a question, I just want to let you know that there's been another update regarding that goalkeeper, Mamadashvili, from Fabrizio Romano about a couple of minutes ago, basically saying that it's still a possibility that Liverpool sign him and then loan him out, as he could be seen as a future number 1 for Liverpool. So there's that.
But you know, goalkeepers don't really concern me unless you know we lose Kelleher, or you know, then we lose Allison next year.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, what would you say are the main position? You said we think Liverpool need 3 players. What do you think they need? What positions? You don't have to tell me players' names, but like, what do you think they need?
We'll see. It really depends on who else we lose. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously the Anthony Gordon thing has totally, you know, simmered down a bit. If we lose Kelleher, which like there's talks of him leaving, you know, I do think we need a goalkeeper. I do think we need maybe a centre back, maybe a left back, and a defensive midfielder. You know, I would give Núñez, you know, a chance this year. Like obviously Slot has said that there are some players that have come back and they're, you know, really, really fit. And there's some players that have come back from, you know, from the summer that aren't fit. And I think you've seen that, you know, in that game against Las Palmas. I think they were the players that were unfit.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I think, you know, as you said, what we'll see facing Ipswich is probably, you know, similar side to what we saw versus Sevilla. But I you know, if I was to go for 3, I'd probably have a centre back, a left back, and a defensive midfielder.
Yeah. I think Liverpool go out in the sign. I think the sign Zubimendi. I think they get a left back. No, do you know what? I don't even know, because Tsimikas hasn't been too bad in pre-season.
But if they got Ignacio, he can play left back and he can play centre back, and can he play right back as well?
No, I think he can play like defensive mid and stuff like that. But I think what's holding up Ignacio is Sepp van den Berg. If Liverpool can get the money for him that they want, you know, the 20 mil, I reckon they'll sell him and they'll bring in Ignacio. Let's have a look at some of these comments, sorry, before we move on a little bit. Liverpool 3-2 win. Last 2 has 2-2 in their first 10 games. You're not I aren't surprised. It's draining. Last one they need a mini midfield still in, but this one has been still draining. Yeah. We'll have to watch our homegrown if we start selling all the youngsters. You don't want under 23s filling up the squad that aren't capable. Agreed. You know, you've got Bobby Clark and everything there that could do a job for us if we need it. But yeah, I reckon we get on current squad now, nobody leaving. I reckon we get Zubimendi. I think that's done. Well, I don't think that's done. I think that gets done. I think we get a centre back. And I think I don't know why, but I have a funny feeling the way that goalkeeper doesn't go away. I wouldn't think. I've got a funny feeling we get that goalkeeper. I don't know why. It doesn't go away. It's the rumor that's been going on for about a week now. I reckon we get him and we loan him back out, as it's been mentioned.
So okay, is that what you is okay? So there's a difference here. So the question that you posed to me is what positions would you like to see filled?
Okay, then. Yeah.
So that's you think that's the
I think that's what will
happen.
happen. Yeah, I think that's what will happen. What I want to happen is a midfielder, number 6, obviously.
Yeah.
A centre back, because we don't know what contract situation's going on with Van Dijk, so I'm taking it as it is. If Van Dijk's leaving at the end of the season, you need to bring somebody in now, because if you wait till next year, clubs are just going to take the piss because they know you want to replace Van Dijk. So you bring somebody in now, and then I think you also need to bring in somebody that's going to replace Mo Salah. So you need a right winger.
So a right winger, defensive midfielder, and a centre back.
That's what I think Liverpool need. But what I think Liverpool will do is I reckon they'll get Zubimendi. I think that happens. I think they get that goalkeeper. I don't know why. That's just based on a feeling. And then if Sepp van den Berg moves out, I reckon they sign a centre back, and the centre back will probably end up being an Asio. I don't know. All right, G, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing good, pal. Ian, thank you for joining, mate. Thank you for that. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed your time. Guys, there is a fantasy football league above. If you want to click on the link in the chat, I'll copy and paste it back in again. If some of you have missed it, we've set up a fantasy league. Go join it. You can pick a team and everything like that. That's that in there. There was something else I wanted to mention to you then. Oh, that's it. So this is going back to something that we spoke about earlier on in the stream, Sean, but and I completely forgot, and that's on me. But Gavin, who sends me DMs on the daily, keeping me up to date with everything when I can't see it when I'm at work, he sent me a message yesterday, and I asked him, would it be okay if I read it out on stream? And he said, yeah. So I'm going to just read word for word what Gavin put through to me yesterday.
He's not declaring his undying love for me, is he, or something?
You what, sorry?
He's not declaring his undying love for me or something, or like.
No, unfortunately not. No, sorry, Sean. No. I'll ask him though if he's interested.
No, I'm not interested. But
right, okay. So he said that it's now obvious to him what we've been saying all along about Caicedo was a PR stunt for the following reasons. Number one, FSG screwed over Klopp with the whole Bellingham thing and had to try and shoe it to try and get a big name in to appease Klopp. Caicedo made it known for the start that it was Chelsea that he wanted to go to, and only Chelsea that wanted him. Liverpool made the bid, knowing that Brighton would accept the bid at that time because Brighton knew Caicedo wanted Chelsea, and Chelsea weren't moving up to a fee that they wanted. We had the bid accepted, and the deal agreed with Brighton, but was never going to be anywhere close to agreeing a deal with Caicedo. On the Thursday night, we had all agreed with Brighton. Friday morning, spoke to Caicedo, and he said, no, I'm off to Chelsea. To sum up, the 110 million was never there, in his opinion. It was put out there by FSG because they knew they was never actually going to have to hand it over. What do you think about
that? I've been saying that all along. No offense to Catherine. I've been saying that all along. I don't see how you can turn down after talking all this bullshit about, we're saving up for Bellingham, we're just going to break the piggy bank here now. We think we have enough coppers now, to entice them over to Liverpool, and then all of a sudden, bringing them over to Liverpool and then saying no. I don't think so. And I mean, then the fact is, we're fuffing about with Latvia. They were looking for whatever they were looking for, and we kept on underbidding. And then we decided to divert our attention to Caicedo and then offer 120 fucking million for him, when we all know that he wanted to go to Chelsea.
No,
and then
I agree.
Him to then turn it down, and then Latvia to then turn it down. Now the laugh, is now on us because they have, they've not been great for Chelsea. That's grand, but it's the fact that at that time it was just embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. If you remember, John W. Henry was at Spurs. He was at the White Hart Lane, and I think it was at the time that they put in the bid for Caicedo. But I definitely think it was a PR. There was no intention of paying that amount of money for that player and then not paying for fucking Bellingham.
That's why probably John Henry came over that night, because he came over, didn't he? Like a couple of either a day before or day after that happened. So yeah. Cop Out of Anfield is back with us. I think. Let me just have have you got anything else you'd like to cover off, Sean? Because I might just do a quick summary of what we've spoke about regarding Zubimendi, because I know there's a few people that's probably joined us after we've already spoke about it.
Well, I mean, I was looking at and I think completely underrated YouTube channel, Red Raw, or he's basically, they call him Miserable Martin. I like to call him Martin, but he did a video there about the X or the Twitter twats going on, and the ITKs and what have you. I think people need to take an awful lot what they see on social media and on the media with a pinch of salt. I think nowadays it's not news, it's opinions, and I think if they throw enough shit, they're hoping some of it will stick. And I don't know whether there's anyone really credible out there, to be honest with you, because I mean, Ornstein, he reported that Liverpool were for sale back, November of one year, and we later found out back in March that that Liverpool weren't for sale. So I mean, I'm not too sure. I mean, look at all the players that we're linked with every season, and there's not one shred of truth in it. So I really don't know if we can take what any of them say with any credibility. I think you really need to question the credibility of all of them, if I'm honest with you. And it's just basically opinions. That's all it is.
No, yeah, I agree. There's a fair few people out there that put stuff out there. Like, I mean, you could kind of accuse me of doing that because I had my opinion, stuff like that, but I don't put stuff out there for clicks, I'd say. I don't put stuff out there that I don't personally believe and that I can't really back it up. I don't just come out with something unless I've read it somewhere or there's stuff out there that I can use as like a backup or anything like that. The whole Zubimendi thing, went through it earlier on. I think it happens based off what Mo Charter said. Like,
well, yeah, sorry, Adam, let me reword that. With regards to this channel, okay, AKM, Adam knows more. That's a bit of a piss take, which and which I know, and that's fine. But of course, it's we do research, or you do research into what we talk about, which is accessible and what have you. And Mo Tratra is a different ball game altogether. To me, if people really want to know, that they can check him out, definitely. And I've spoken to him ages and ages ago. He probably doesn't remember me, but there's a lot of clickbait out there. And I've always said this about you, Adam. You go and you do your research. Do you know what I mean? That's and all right, Gary. You do your.
I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that. So what I want to do just before we end up finishing this stream off, Sean, is just, because I know there's 83 people watching now, so these may have not been with us since the beginning of the stream. So what I want to do for you, because we did start off the stream with the Zubimendi stuff, so I'm kind of going to repeat myself a little bit. So if you've already watched this, I do apologize. But I'm going to add something else into it as well, because as Sean was talking, I was looking at this other article that popped up on Sports Witness that I think is worth mentioning, because that's the latest from today from Spain as well. So The run of the whole story is, so again, I mentioned this earlier, but it feels like this Zubimendi thing's been going on for about a month now, when really tomorrow it's actually only been 7 days. So Tuesday last week, Ornstein said that Liverpool were exploring a player for the number 6 position and that the player was not in the Premier League. The day after, on Wednesday the 7th, Joyce named Zubimendi as the player that Liverpool were looking at, and Ornstein added the same day that Real Sociedad expect the player to accept the move to Liverpool. According to Sociedad sources, the clubs would still need to agree a fee unless Liverpool decide to trigger the €60 million, £51 million buyout clause, which needs to be paid in full. Friday the 9th, Ornstein, because there was nothing on Thursday that was credible. Friday the 9th, Ornstein said that Liverpool continue to work to sign Zubimendi from Sociedad. Players going the other way were not the focus of the talks for the time being. And that's basically because at the time that he wrote that, there was a lot of rumours going around that Liverpool were trying to include Sepp van den Berg or Carvalho as part of the deal. But Ornstein basically that was never going to happen. Delay is more due to the deal structure. Liverpool's efforts to convince player to leave, while Sociedad are trying to persuade him to stay. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, why was Sociedad trying to persuade him to stay if he had already not basically said that he was up for the move to Liverpool? Continue on. All weekend, rumours were flying around that Zubimendi was undecided and that Sociedad were trying to keep him. The reports in Spain were saying that Zubimendi would end up moving to Liverpool, as Liverpool will pay the buyout fee. And then today we had the article from Paul Joyce saying that Sociedad will make Zubimendi pay for the full clause himself. So again, just to quickly cover one last thing with you guys that we've already covered. It's the we've talked about him a few times on here now. Is the more Chatra. Again, I feel like I'm butchering that last name. I feel like I keep saying it wrong every time. But he basically put this thread out today about how he spoke to someone in Spain involved with Spanish football and told them that the buyout clauses are part of all contracts in Spain and Portuguese football, as it's part of employment law. In reality, buyout clauses are very rarely exercised. The reason for this is because Spain's tax authorities can treat any funds transferred by Liverpool to Zubimendi, even if it's only for a few hours, as an income, and this would then be liable to a 47% tax charge, which would take the 51.5 million buyout clause to 75.7. Now, I quickly looked at something on Google. Again, this could be wrong, but they basically said that the Spanish tax authorities have now waived that tax charge for this type of thing. So that shouldn't be a problem now. In reality, the buying and selling clubs agree on a payment of the transfer fee by installments. The selling club, when the sale is made official, still often announce that the buyout clause has been activated. His interpretation of Paul Joyce's latest update is that the Real and Sociedad have now reached an agreement on the fee, and it's the structure. And if and when the transaction goes ahead, Real will say that Zubimendi triggered the clause to save face with their fans. After the embarrassment of the Caicedo situation from a year ago, Liverpool would not have briefed Paul Joyce and David Ornstein, etc., about this story last week if the player is not fully committed to joining the Reds, which I agree with 100%. This does not mean the deal is done, but it looks like to more that the last few days were spent negotiating the fee, as some reports had suggested, and the agreement has been reached. Now it's down to the PR spin to play out in the next few days. And then just one last thing. Sorry, this is a long ramble. I do apologize. I found an article from Spain today. It's on sportswitness.co.uk. So if you guys want to go have a look at it yourself, you can do. And it's titled that the entourage favours the player joining Liverpool. Slot's personal calls convince him to join. And it goes on to say that the Monday edition of Monday Deportivo says the midfielder hasn't decided yet amid interest from Liverpool. The La Liga side are keen to retain him and are ready to offer him an improved deal. Meanwhile, Arne Slot has made it a priority to sign the Spanish international and has spoken to the player personally. The manager has tried to convince the player to join Liverpool, while his side have told La Real of their desire to pay the €60 million buyout fee. And then Mundo Deportivo added the Spaniard and his club have been made aware of Liverpool's interest for the past 2 weeks, and that this week was a decisive week for the club, Liverpool club, to try and sign him, and the release clause and his final decision are the two problems for them. Liverpool would like to avoid activating the clause since they would have to pay the fee in one go. They are looking to negotiate different payment methods with Sociedad, who could be open to it, possibly including a percentage of any fee if Zubimendi was to be sold in the future. Zubimendi's entourage favours a move to Liverpool as they believe he'll not get a chance to join them again. Zubimendi seems to have given his yes to the Reds director Richard Hughes before he started to have doubts in recent days. The player is concerned about the impact his exit would have on Real Sociedad weeks after he publicly expressed his desire to continue. Liverpool are optimistic of getting the Spaniard's approval while they are still waiting for his final decision. They won't wait for much longer and expect him to respond in the coming hours or days. So again, we're hearing that thing where potentially we could be waiting till Wednesday, to get some sort of resolution to all of this. We had the Fabrizio Romano update literally as we've been talking to basically say that, Liverpool will pay anything to get the deal done, which is 51 point whatever million pounds to get the deal done. So it's a bit pointless really saying that. But yeah, I still stick with what I've said through this whole stream, that I think this deal happens based on what's being mentioned now. If we'll
pay anything bar what they're asking for. Yeah. Like I look, I mean, they just need to get the finger out. I mean, they don't have, if this is the sort of time that they go around bargaining and get a deal done, then I worry, because I don't think one signing this summer is enough. I think you're going to see people calling for Slot. If he doesn't hit the ground running. He's had a fantastic pre-season. He's got the very best out of some of these players in the pre-season. But I think, if we're to go through a long season, have a good run in the cups, as you said, we've got to bring in more players. And if Zubimendi or whatever his name is, if he's not coming, we now need to divert our attention very quickly onto someone else and get the fucking job done. Get it goddamn done.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm still of the opinion that this deal gets done. I know you're not too convinced, Jono.
No, I'm not. In this stream, I'm not.
But I still think it happens. Let's just. I'm going to have a look at some of these comments here. So Rick says the difference between making out and saying, here's what I think based on your good at half. Cheers, Rick. I didn't mean to show that one just because, to big myself up. It was literally the last comment that we've not seen, you know what I mean? So, Gary said, quick question. Why didn't Liverpool just pay La Liga offices? It's the way it's worded over there. It's not a release clause. It's a buyout clause. It's the same in Portuguese football as well, according to Mo Charter.
Charter.
I'm just going to call him Mo from now on.
Just call him Mo. Yeah, but then how do you differentiate Mo Salah and Mo Charter?
I'll just call him Mo C.
Mo C, okay.
Mo C. Sounds like I'm saying Mercy then, doesn't it? Like, yeah, basically, it's got to come from the player, but obviously the money comes from the club that he's going to. That's the long and short of it. But it won't be that Zubimendi walks up to the offices himself. It'll be like his agent or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Copbush 912 reckons we find out tomorrow. Maybe. Probably. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened when I'm in office, probably. Copyright, sorry, mate. Craig's with us from Canada. How you doing, Craig? Hope you're doing okay. I guess it's a wait to see. Yeah, well, that's just like anything, really. The tax issue is gaff, completely untrue. Yeah, I think that's been rectified as not being true now. Like, it used to be a thing, but I don't think it is now. Craig's excited that we are back. Something about tax and what about his agent? I'm not too sure. I've not heard anything about his agent, but I have like seen something along the line of like, you know, the tax thing, but I don't think that that's an issue anymore. And then Johnny said he's not convinced, to be honest. By the way, Joyce came across today, made me think that he's actually going to pay the clause. Yeah, I still think it happens. I'm going to go out on a limb. And if Adam is wrong, it's Adam doesn't know more anymore, I guess. Then I have to change the name of the channel again.
Uh-oh.
I might change it to Adam Knows Nothing. Is there anything else you'd like to cover, Shauno?
Well, I forgot to plug my own SD Designs 2020. Got myself a nice little logo now, just to kind of update things. Tried to put a few designs there, but we're done for copyrights. The Olympics tried to do me there for copyright infringement. I had really? Kelly Harrington. Yeah, Kelly Harrington is a double gold medalist for Ireland. She's a boxer, really, really good boxer. So I try to do a few designs there, but I have a few up there, Liverpool stuff there if you want to have a check on it. Redbubble, SD Designs 2020. Obviously, we've also got our fantasy football league. The more people that get involved in that, the better. Be good.
Link crack. Is in the chat now, guys. I've just put it back in again if you want to go and join.
And thank you, Copites. And obviously, Wayne Henley Art for that lovely print that he gave me, Danka Klopp. I've yet to find somewhere to put it. I mean, it's massive. There's the original painting there in canvas. I mean, look at the detail in that. Jesus Christ. Incredible. Obviously, JackDesigns UK, he's brought out a new range there for this year. Number 19 apparel. Obviously, Fibbers Sports Memorabilia and Cop Art in Belfast. They're doing fantastic things. They have a membership going there as well. And they're trying to organize a few Liverpool legend gigs. I think they have a few signings with a few other sports athletes and stuff like that, and former legends, boxing and all of that. So it's really, really good. And then obviously shout out to the Late Challenge podcast as well. Do I think Luis Diaz goes? No.
Not now. I think it's a bit late now. No. I think. Yeah, I think it's a bit too late in the window. If that was to happen, Liverpool have to have a replacement ready to go. And I can't think that being Anthony Gordon. What's this? Slot cannot be Klopp because Klopp will never struggle with signing up. Nah, I think that's a good thing. I think Liverpool may have lost a bit of pulling power with Klopp going, maybe a little bit. No. One last thing, I guess, to leave you on, guys, is that apparently, again, I know we spoke about Fabrizio Romano's reliability this summer transfer window, but again, he has just mentioned that Goalkeeper yet again, saying that Liverpool have spoke to Mamadashvili's agents and to Valencia. It is a concrete possibility, but right now Liverpool are focused on Zubimendi. So basically, it kind of feels like Zubimendi maybe holding up a few of things. So again, just to finish off the stream, I think Zubimendi happens. I really do. We'll have to just kind of wait and see what happens. What have we got here? Fabio Carvalho gone, Craig. He's got sold today, got confirmed by the club. And we need Eze to come, needs to treat. Yeah, Eze will be a good signing for Liverpool, but I just think it might be a little bit too expensive in all fairness. I have to go. Cheers, Rick. We're going to finish the stream now anyway, guys. So thank you all for joining. Shawnee, you've just shouted out everything there. Have you got anything you'd like to say before we go?
I think what you call Martin Mason is wanting to come on.
Bloody hell, we're just about to finish off.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I think he's wanting to come on for the second.
Okay. Let's see if he's got anything to say. Sorry guys, I guess we'll have to just wait and see if Martin ends up joining us now. So you can stick around for a little bit longer.
You know, it's AKM live. I mean,
he's here now. He's here. Let's see what he's got to say. Hold on, I've got to change the thing. He's there. Hello.
Hello. How you doing, boys?
Not too bad. You?
Oh, it's been a long day. I've been listening to you. I've been trying to get on, but it's just been one of them days today. It's just a nightmare. I'm just on my last job now. Right. So, that fella. I don't think he's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
It's a PR stunt. Oh, hang on a minute. 1 second. Yeah. I don't think he's going to come. It's going to be, like Sean said, one of them leading your expectations. It's not going to happen, and I think we're going to go someone. They're going to bring someone in from like the Championship or somewhere. I can't see it happening. I'm gutted. We've got so much money, but they don't want to freaking spend it.
No, yeah. We were talking about that, to be fair. I think
it's getting ridiculous now.
I think it happens still. I really do. And I don't know why I've got that opinion, but I just think it happens.
I hope so, mate, because we need them.
Yeah, we definitely do.
You know,
especially watching how we played the other day.
Yeah, how can we go into a Premier League season with so many little players, knowing damn well the injuries to the players that we had can re-flare up?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was saying, Martin. This is what I was saying. Like, I mean, we've got, if we loan off the players that were said to loan off, we could have a squad of 25 players. You know? Yeah,
it's like looking at Arsenal. Arsenal, I think, are favourites for the league this year, but mate, they haven't got enough strength. So I can't see them doing anything. But back to us, it's like, how can you go through so many transfer windows and just not spend money? We can't afford to sell to buy. We need to buy, especially if we're loaning out. We can't do it.
No, I agree. We were talking about the players then that could potentially be going out. There's like 7 or 8 other players that could be getting sold or something at some point. Hold on, got Copbush here. Copbush is saying that he reckons that Zubi, Gordon, and a centre back coming. I think Zubimendi happens. I don't think Gordon happens. I think that would take Diaz to be moved on. And I do think they get a centre back though as well.
We need someone. Do you know what? We're going to end up going fucking back to Lidl soon. We are. It's just, honest to God, it's like we used to shop at Aldi. Now we're going fucking Lidl. We'll be in Netto next year.
Well, we could have signed Neto, but he ended up going to Chelsea.
With this bullshit of, you know, we've got such a great squad, and it's very difficult to bring in players of that quality or better. That's a load of rubbish. There's plenty of players out there.
It's all PR stunts. Like, that's why, you know, I don't know if you spoke about it or anything. Like, this what's his name? Casemiro? No. Oh, what's his name? He's gone to Chelsea. Henry's come over as a publicity stunt. You know, we were never getting Bellingham, ever. Right? And it's one of them, you know, Klopp has been pissed off. Let's try and fork it out, knowing that he's damn well he was never coming to us, ever.
No. I think we could have signed him, but I just think they just shafted it at the end. I think they just fucked it at the end. I really do.
Do you know what the problem is? Right, to me, like, okay, say they're coming to me, right? They're going to go and sign Martin. Yeah, that's fine. Right, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Liverpool. Everything's spoke about. Where are they? At times they're taking the coming and they go, well, look, you took that long. If you really wanted me, you'd done it by now. I'm not coming to your club. That's what
happened with Torres. Torres left the club because he was promised X, Y, Z, and then it never happened, and then he wanted to move for that reason.
He was sold a lie.
He was told a lie about a lot of things. I mean, even his fitness, which basically destroyed his career at the end.
Well,
but
I absolutely
that these players have a short career. They can't be fucking about and faffing about, for a 5-year plan. And that's what Torres was. We're having a 5-year plan.
No, I absolutely love Torres and Suarez, right? And you know what? I don't care what anyone else thinks. To me, if FSG or whoever it was fucked him over and he fucking Liverpool back, he's gone, well, fuck you, I'll just go Chelsea. And I don't resent him at all. A lot of people do. He fucking went to Chelsea. No, he had to look for it, a favour income. He had to prolong his career. If Liverpool didn't want him, I'm going to go.
Yeah. Why did they hire Richard Hughes? Again, he could have been working on contracts and everything behind the scenes. We had a bit of a chat about that earlier. Cockbush, if we've got the money, why don't we go for Gordon? He'll get 50 mil and Zubi.
He's not going to happen.
I think Anthony Gordon's at least a minimum if you're paying cash 75.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Right, boys, listen, I've got to go again now because I'm just outside this house. But I needed to jump on because I was fucking you. Oh, by the way, I love that design.
Cheers, mate.
That one with the yellow and the black, mate, it catches you like that. It does to me. I was knocking one out. Go, look at this. Right, listen, boys, I've got to go because I've got to go see this freaking. I'm going to get stuck in the toilet just before you start ripping me.
Hold on, before you go a minute, mate. Before you go, you mean like this?
you bellend. Right, I'll catch us in a bit.
All right, Martin. Talk to you later.
I think cheers, Martin, man. Thanks for coming, man. I always appreciate Martin coming on. Let's have a look at this. So Eminem saying Zubi do. I've heard in that song from like Anfield Agenda. I'm sure he started singing that. We need Kimmich or a midfielder who gives us speed, dominates at least 2 big names in a depth in DM position also. I kind of agree with that. Bond says Liverpool doesn't need Gordon, and Copite said that the new tune and graphics, etc. Yeah, this background thing that I've got going on here, I literally did that over the weekend. And that new tune is, I'll let you in on a little secret here. That new tune is literally the opening sequence for the stream, that song, but I've cut out the bits where the vocals are and just put it on a bit of a loop, so it's just the same beat over and over again.
I didn't know that. That's quite cool.
Yeah. I chopped it up a little bit and just put the same beat over and over again. It took me ages to get it right because it didn't sound right. It sounded like it kept skipping a little bit, so I had to edit it a little bit more. But yeah, it seems to fit now. So that 10-second clip that I've got on now, because our last kept saying that the 30-second intro was a bit long, and to be fair, I thought it started to annoy me, and I don't even watch it, and it started to annoy me. So I thought I'll try and make a bit of a shorter one. So the 10-second one now is it's a bit good.
No, fair play. It was nice, and obviously the logo or the logos that we got.
That lad from Fiverr. He's that good. I can't believe how good they've turned out. Like all the emojis. If you guys are members right now,
the emojis.
Get them emojis in the chat. Them emojis are so good. Dave Compton, you're a member, mate. Put some emojis in the chat for us. Even in show note and Adam, contracts far best played needs sorting now, not later. Agreed. We've covered that, mate. We both agreed that they should have been sorted at least a year ago, if not 18 months ago. In all fairness, much better AKM. What is the intro? Yeah, it got a little bit thingy, didn't it? God, emojis are class.
Some of the emojis I designed now, we can't put it down to the guy with Fiverr. I did the
No, I'm just looking now. So the first one that Johnny put in, that's one that Shauno did. The second one is the guy from Fiverr. And then the third one that Johnny put in is also one that Shauno made as well. So they're good then. What's this one here? Nunes needs to just get his fucking goal scoring boots on and go for the golden boot this season, or just Liverpool should throw him out for the quickest bus to this country. I think I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Slot can do with Nunes once he's got hold of him a little bit. He's only been there maybe a week, so let's give him a little bit more time under Slot, and I think he might come good. But as you say, I do think this is his make or break season at Liverpool for Darwin Nunes. And then Johnny's put in some more of the emojis that you've made, Shano.
Yeah, we've got some really exciting stuff for members very shortly. We're in talks with other people regarding what we're going to offer. So it's going to be really worth your while. I mean, it was what the most expensive one was, what, $2.99 or something?
$1.99.
No, $1.99, and then there's a $2.99 one, isn't it?
Yeah, $1.99, $2.99. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, with the plans that some of the stuff that I suggested to you, I think there's some really, and some of the stuff we've been talking about, there's some really good ideas floating about, and if we can implement them, I think it'd be worth everyone's while to join. $2.99 per month.
Okay. So much just popped up for me regarding Zubimendi. This is, to be fair, something that I've not referenced. I don't think there's anything behind it or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be any credibility behind it. However, there is a Spanish publication called, is it Railvelo? I don't know. They've just said 5 minutes ago that Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have you got the link? Can you send the link?
Let me just find it again. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
So I'll try and go through this with you now, guys. It's going to be in bad English, though, in all fairness, because it's Google Translate from Spanish into English. So this publication, Railvelo, I've never heard of them, guys. Don't know if it's true or not. They're saying that a 180-degree turn in the future of Martin Zubimendi, when it seems that the midfielder would change scenery this summer. The player has rejected a dizzy offer from Liverpool, who were ready to pay the release clause. The continuity of Zubimendi is the best news at the moment for Real Sociedad, that feared the worst with San Sebastian. In Liverpool, everything was ready for his arrival because the footballer, as this media had reported a couple of weeks ago, had said yes. The agreement was total. The Reds were rubbing their hands with the signing of a player who was going to become the watchword of the institution. But finally, Zubimendi has decided to continue at Real Sociedad, ignoring Liverpool. His departure would have been a severe setback for the blue and white. Losing a player of Zubimendi's category would have been a difficult problem to solve. Covering his gap would have been a headache for the team. And that's basically it. Now, with the continuity of Zubimendi, Real achieves a very important victory. I think maybe, Shano, don't know if you've got the time, but let's just stick around a little bit longer and see if anything else comes out about this while we're talking.
Yeah, I've no problem at all, man.
Because that's a publication that I don't really hold in high regard, but, you know, a broken clock's wrong twice a day. Johnny McLean, thank you for the super chat, mate. Appreciate it, pal.
I'm just checking on Sky Sports here. So Liverpool still pushing for Zubimendi. This was 18 minutes ago. Sky Sports News, Mark McAdam with the latest on Liverpool's attempts to sign Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press mute. I'm going to play this and let's see what they have to say.
Okay, cool. No worries. I'm just constantly refreshing, guys, about this just as we're talking now. Don't look good, does it? After I've just been saying all stream that he's going to sign. See if there's anything on here. Why's my mouse not working now? There we go. Just reading some stuff, guys. Yeah. Again, there's nothing. No one else seems to be going with this right now. It's just this one publication. I reckon if this is legit, we get an update from Paul Joyce at around about 10:30 tonight. That seems to be the what happens. Calling bullshit, but I'm feeling I just got it as well. Just seeing it. Yeah. We need the damn club. I'm gonna stop pocketing the money off players. It was making all season. Need to invest it. Yeah, they do. AKN. Anfield Agenda has said the deal has collapsed. Yeah, I wonder if they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. This would be a real what's the word? A stub toe, I guess, for Liverpool if this is true.
Well, from what I can see on Sky Sports reported 18 minutes ago, they're just reporting the same shit, that it's down to the player, but it's not totally impossible for Atletico to
Real
offer
Sociedad.
Real Sociedad, a better contract. That's what I mean. They've already lost a midfielder this summer to Arsenal, I think. So, yeah.
This doesn't seem to be. All the aggregator accounts now are saying that it's a disastrous start for Hughes and Edwards. There doesn't seem. There's no other journalist is going with this right now. There's no other credible sources that are saying this right now. Sorry if it's a bit dead air, guys. I'm literally just trying to find if anyone else is actually going for this. Like anyone else is actually like talking about it or anything like that.
Sent you a private chat there, Adam.
Yeah, okay. There's another journalist saying it as well from Spain that he will stay with Real Sociedad. But he's the same journalist from the same publication that's run with it already. What did you say? Sorry, you sent me something.
Yeah, on the private chat in here.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just trying to see, like, so there's I don't know if what you people think of Grizz Khan, for instance. He's saying damn with a sad face. So he's saying that it's not happening. Basically, I take by that. I'll just refresh one more time.
Okay, so the Empire of the Cop. Well, this is 8 hours ago, so I don't know how this is. No.
Yeah.
That's 8 hours ago.
I'm sorry, guys, if this is a bit boring for you all, but I'm literally just trying to find anything that backs up. All I'm seeing is everybody's talking about this one article. There's nobody else that's going with anything. Yeah, Copite's saying, remember what we said about X-Shite? Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Listen to Gareth. Thanks, Johnny. If we hear from Joyce, that's what we need to do. Yeah, I think when transfers are drawn out and players are interested but failed late, it's because sneaky low ball wage of maybe, yeah, could be. I think Slot should ask you back for 2 seasons. Matt O'Reilly incoming. Maybe. Anyone check the club? Anyone check in on Indy? I don't follow him, so I'd have to search that in. All right, then. So Zubimendi is now trending on X. Let's have a look what the latest ones are. Lots of people saying that he's rejected us, but they're all citing that one article. Yeah, it seems to be all just coming from that one place.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at the Echo here, and there's less than 3 weeks are left of the summer transfer window, and Liverpool are still working on a deal to rail Sociedad midfielders and Zubimendi, their first signing. The Reds also reportedly want Atlanta's Toon Coop Miners. And there's still rumors about free agent Adrian Raboot, if that's how you pronounce his name. Not great at the pronunciations. So again, I'm not. It's not really.
Nah. There doesn't seem to be anybody chatting from any of the other anything like that. So until we see any other credible sources come out with this, I'm just going to hold tight a little bit. If we were to just look at that site, they're a Spanish publication. They've got just over 250,000 followers on X, and they do TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. I don't know, guys.
It must be reliable.
It's a bit of a weird one. Bit of a weird one, I guess. We'll have to just wait. Some people are saying some people actually commenting on the article on their website saying that this is a source you can't trust. So who knows, guys, right? It literally popped up as we were just about to end the stream. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Could you have a look at some of these comments?
Let me just check here. I'm going to have a...
No, I don't think he was using this for bigger wages. It doesn't sound like that's the case at all. Guy Richardson had the deal being buggered. I don't think so. There's nobody else running with it just yet. Minimum wages isn't going to lock in a big name signing. I kind of agree with that. Copites, wait for Joyce or Ornstein. Yeah. Gordon, maybe if we lose Diaz. Yeah, I agree with that.
So the actual publication that have reported this, there are sports website written in Spanish and based in Madrid. It covers national and international sports with a focus on Gen Z. And what the hell is that about? Like millennials? So it's owned by a Spanish media group. Okay.
So
I'm not really.
A lot of people are saying that they've never heard of this source before. Wait till Joyce says something or someone a bit more reliable. And I'm going to go with that for the time being, I think, guys. Until we have someone more reliable actually stating this, I think that we should just kind of hold fire a little bit. Yeah, I think if this is to be true, Joyce will speak tonight. I believe that. If this is true, guys, I'm going to end the stream on this. If this is true that Zubimendi has decided to stay at Real Sociedad, we will hear this tonight from credible sources. 100%. Paul Joyce is known for updating stuff around about 10 o'clock, 10:30. So if we don't hear out from Paul Joyce by that time, let's just hold fire and wait, see what happens, I guess.
Hold our fire.
So let's have a look, see what's going on here then, see what people are saying. We didn't lose him, his quality. Wait and see. This is just ITK bullshit. Yeah. The source isn't reliable from what people are saying in the comments on that. Liverpool should go for Wharton at Palace. I think he'd be well expensive, Gary. I really do, mate, for the experience that he has. Copbush still thinks it's on. Craig, cheers all until we find out anything and get ready for the league. Yep. Slotting Hughes the joke, kind of being one side. It's coming from West Ham. It's not over yet. Not over yet. We'll have to just wait and see. Copbush again, still on until 10. Yeah, I agree with that as well. And then Eminem saying should go for Edison instead from Atalanta. In all fairness, guys, if if this deal is over and it's fallen through because the players decided to stay at Real Sociedad, going off the stats that we went through a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I would say that Alan Varela at Porto is a more like-for-like player with Zubimendi than Edison at Atalanta. But again, I stand to be corrected on that if that is the case. And then Bond says, Hugh needs this signing more than Liverpool. It's not a great start for Hughes if this is true. So you close down, send us a message if you hear anything tonight. Yep, the members will get an update tonight. If Alt breaks tonight. So it's mountains, I guess. Yeah. Hughes should bring Kubos with him from West Ham. Hughes came from Bournemouth. He didn't come from West Ham, but I've seen a lot of people saying that Liverpool should sign Kudus. If it's Edison or the lad from Fluminense, Andre, again, just going off the stats that we covered off a couple of weeks back now. I think it was actually last week, the Monday before this all broke. I reckon that Alan Varela at Porto is a more like-for-like player with Zubimendi, just based off the stats that we covered. But I guess, Sean, I'm going to have one more refresh, see if there's anything else, anybody else touching on this whatsoever. And if not, I think we'll call it a day and just wait and see what happens with Paul Joyce later on tonight, if anything at all.
Yeah.
Right then, guys, thanks for joining us. A 2-hour AKM live episode there. How about that then? Sean, I know you've already done it a couple of times already, but have you got anything you'd like to say before we go? Or in fact, sorry, before you start, sorry. Johnny said, wouldn't he be expensive, Varela? I think Varela is £60 million or euros. I can't be sure without double checking right now, but I'm sure it's around about 60. Yes, go on then, Sean, if you've got anything you'd like to say before we go, mate.
So yeah, SD Designs 2020 on Redbubble. Check out.
Oh shit! Paul Joyce.
Oh no.
Zubimendi is staying at Sociedad. There we have it, guys. Paul Joyce has confirmed that Zubimendi is staying at Real Sociedad. I'm just going to now load this up.
Fucking hell.
This stream's never going to end, is it? Hold on, my looks like X has crashed for me. It's proper taking forever to load. Is this? Here we go. Paul Joyce. Literally a minute ago, guys. Literally a minute ago. Right, let me see if I can just work a bit of magic here and see if I can get this loaded up. What's your thoughts to that, Shauno?
Are you sure? Like I'm trying to get on his Twitter.
Here we go. Oh, he's not even updated his article yet. That's how new it is to him. It's just a tweet that he's put out.
I can't even see his tweet.
I'll try and share this now. Hold on a moment, guys. Just says here, Paul Joyce, Liverpool target Martin Zubimendi to remain at Real Sociedad. Let me just refresh the times again. I don't think he's updated his article.
I don't see anything on Zubimendi and Paul Joyce.
I'll send you this over now, Shauno. Hold on a moment.
Yeah.
There you go. You should have a message now.
Okay.
Oh my days. No way, man. They're all going with it now. Fabrizio Romano. So Romano says that Martin Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool with formal communication tonight. Real Sociedad's efforts to keep the player has happened and he will sign a new deal. Zubimendi informed Richard Hughes tonight that he was staying at Sociedad. And then Lewis Steele, this is going to be news to your ears, Shauno. He is basically saying that Liverpool are now unlikely to sign a number 6 this summer.
Of course. Of course.
Richard Hughes believed Zubimendi had given his word. Oh,
I could talk for an hour about how infuriated and annoyed I am at how we have been fucking around for the whole transfer window, and all the excuses and all the this and the that's and whatever. We haven't sorted out contracts. We've been faffing about for the last, I don't know how many number of days with Zubimendi, and now this has come out of it. I think the way we tackle contracts and the way we tackle transfers, it's almost like as if we don't have pulling power. And, you know, people are going to target slot. That's what they're going to do. People are going to be stupid and think it's down to slot. They're going to say, well, we don't have Klopp anymore. We don't have the pulling power of Klopp. And yes, Klopp certainly added to the pulling power. But who in the right fucking mind would turn down Liverpool Football Club?
Yeah. Well,
do you know what I mean? I don't blame Slot at all. I blame the infrastructure that we've had all this time, the way we go about our business. People can say, well, you know, we're very shrewd business people. That's total bullshit. Are we getting the players we need? Absolutely not. And you know, no, David, there's no meltdown or anything like that. You know, we're not about that. So I don't know where you're coming from with that. It's a player that we've missed out on, but it's not so much of missing out on a player. It's the fact that we've got 2 weeks left in the transfer window. I wouldn't mind missing out to a player if we had it started early, the business. So it has nothing to do with we've missed out on a player. So I reject that comment.
I'm just looking now at other people's Twitters before we go, guys. I'm going to make a video about this as well, guys. Obviously,
you will get people, you know, going on meltdown over missing out on a player, but I don't think it's been handled very well.
So, according to Luis Steele, he says that as Spanish reports told that Martin Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool, unlikely that the Reds will go in for another 6 this summer. Richard Hughes believed the Spanish midfielder has given his full word. And then what else is there here? And then Fabrizio Man has also tweeted again. Martin Zubimendi rejects Liverpool after he did the same with Bayern and Arsenal with opportunities in recent years. Unconditional love for Real Sociedad, as he's saying, and open to signing a new contract. Contract proposal from Sociedad is lower than what Liverpool had offered him as a contract. So he's not staying at Sociedad for more money. David, I meant fan meltdown over this. Yeah, there probably will be. Yeah, there probably will be, David. Yeah. Right, Sean, I think I'm going to get off, mate, because I'm going to make a video about this now and see what gets said, shall we? But thanks for joining, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Sean, do you want to do some shout outs before we get off?
Yeah, Wayne Henley Art, thank you very much again for the amazing print. Danke, Jürgen. JackDesigns, check them out. JackDesigns.uk. Number 19 apparel. Fibber Sports Memorabilia and Cop Art in Belfast. The Late Challenge podcast as well. And also my own, very own shop, SD Designs 2020 on Redbubble. Also check out our fantasy Premier League. I guarantee you one player that you're not going to be able to pick, and that's Martin Zubimendi.
Yeah, just right quickly before we go, I will actually put a link to the fantasy league in the chat now. So if those of you that are still watching get a chance to go over there. So there you go. It's in the chat now, guys. Click on it. Come and join us over there on Fantasy Football. But yeah, that's it from us today on this episode of AKM Live. I am literally
our first exclusive.
Yeah, first exclusive, I guess. Breaking news as we're doing it.
There you go.
I guess I'm going to jump off this and do a video for the people that obviously weren't with us right now. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. That's it for Shauno. We're back here next Monday for episode 14, where Liverpool, by sounds of it, won't be signing anybody. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And like I say, we will obviously see you all next week. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, guys. Give the video a like, and we'll see you next time.